Good morning. It is Tuesday, May 27th. This is the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly. This is Michael Cirillo. Today, we're talking about smothered covered charging. Yes, I did say it. And I think Michael's probably been to well, you know, it's a Waffle House comment. Smothered covered charging.
Covered charging.
I know. We'll get there. Man, everybody, Memorial Day has come and gone. I hope everyone had a good time, whether you're selling cars or, you know, whether you're at home relaxing or like me fixing my pool filter. I hope you had a good time. We did. What does Cirillo's do? Anything special? I mean, you're in Texas now. It feels like Memorial Day is extra celebrated.
Yeah. I felt very proud hanging our American flag outside the house. That was fun. A little bit of a tear as I did that. And kind of similar to you, where you were doing stuff on your pool, we've had this water main leak in front of our house for like 7 weeks.
That's chlorinated.
Yeah. And when the guys came, they were like, don't worry, we're just going to scrape off the first 6 inches, repair the leak. By the end of the first day, they were down like 14 feet. And yesterday, we had these big storms, but yesterday there was a current. And I swear little like bugs and cockroaches were surfing on the
coming out of
and water was just spewing out of it. So emergency calls into the city and they weren't answering. So my neighbor called the sheriff and then the fire department showed up.
So you're really glad you had you were glad you had your American flag up.
Yeah. So you were repairing a sand filter on your pool and I was getting a free pool.
Oh my goodness. Show up, Cirillo's in there in the donut float.
Yeah. Those arm floaties.
Well, tomorrow we have our next SOTU Edge webinar, driving performance with high octane data, with Cindy Allen, our new friend at Stone Eagle. It's going to be a great webinar. It's tomorrow, so make sure you go to sotu.com right now. Very top of the page, you can register. So if you can make it live, please be with us live. If you can't, register. We'll get you the recording. You're not going to want to miss this one. Cindy, so smart, and Stone Eagle, if you didn't know, have the most end-to-end data of entire transactions of any company in the ecosystem, automotive ecosystem. So you're going to learn a few things there.
We interviewed her, right?
We did.
We interviewed her. And we were kind of like, how did we not know her sooner? Like
she's the one that was giving us all the American Express traffic.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll drop a nugget or two on that.
She's awesome. Webinar. It's gonna be great.
Put the graphic up, Nathan, just because we have it and you have to see this picture if you're watching. You already put this one up. The next one. Yes, I know. We're still a little bit a SotuCon, like wishing that it wasn't over, but it is over. But we already have our dates. We've signed our contract. Venue is locked for 2026, and we want to try to avoid. Look at this picture if you haven't. That is one of the most. That's a real photo, not photoshopped in any way. So there you go. So, also, most of the main stage sessions from this are live on our YouTube channel. And we have a clever, fun little way to get there. It's ASOTube, ASOTU.be. We'll get you right there. Most of our main stage sessions now are live on the YouTube channel. And look, circle the date right now. Next year, we heard way too much people saying, I couldn't. I had to come. I booked this other thing. I didn't know, even though we released our date early. So now we're a full year in advance, May 12th through the 15th, 2026. I know you don't have anything on your calendar yet. Just circle it, write it in so that you won't miss it again. All right, let's talk about some news. Automotive News released its top used car retailers list. I think they started this list last year, showing that the stabilizing of the 2024 markets led to some big gains. However, the current complexities and quickly shrinking market day supply is testing even the best players. Used-only dealers like CarMax, Carvana, and DriveTime were numbers 1, 2, and 3. They saw strong 2024 growth as supply chains normalized, with Carvana up 33% year over year.
Wow.
Currently, dealers are creatively sourcing inventory. These dealers, they said, part of their success is prioritizing trade-ins and direct from consumer purchases to avoid auctions when they can. The current used vehicle day supply right now stands at just a 43-day market supply. So it's getting tricky out there. The lowest since 2021, with obviously the lower price vehicles being hardest to find. Tariff fears driving consumers to buy quickly. Prices for the top 50 US or used car models are an average now of $29,000. Here's a word from Bill Soko, dealer principal of Automotive Avenues. He is on the list. He says there isn't a lot of room for error anymore in this post-COVID used car world. Meanwhile, our friend Jonathan Smoke at Cox Automotive said 2025 is going to be a roller coaster for this industry.
Can we do a compilation of
Yes.
every year going back 20, 25 years of who said that year would be the roller coaster?
I mean, I feel like last year we probably got the most but like calm predictions we've ever gotten.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not last year. Last year's kind of the anomaly. Last year, a lot of people were like, "Hey, we're projecting a very strong SAR, steady growth." I mean, we had our issues for sure, but I think last year the biggest issue was the CDK hack.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big issue.
Yeah,
that was roller coaster worthy.
It was.
I mean, like if you think if the analogy, just overarching analogy for the car business is that it's a roller coaster because entrepreneurship and business owning and leadership and people and retail, then if you never get off the roller coaster, then it's safe to assume that it's just always going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah, just learn to enjoy the fun parts.
Enjoy the fun parts.
Enjoy the fun parts and hedge against the bad parts.
Without the thrill of a roller coaster, like without the parts that make you feel like you're going to fall out of your seat, the roller coaster wouldn't have a thrill.
That's right. You can't see it on here, but behind me, there's this thing that Seth Godin had in one of his books, and I cut it out and I hang it back there, and it says, "How big a roller coaster?" And it basically says the reason we do it is because a roller coaster is this blend of I'm having the time of my life and I'm going to die. Right?
It's the only reason you go to an amusement park is for the roller coasters.
That's debatable.
And to not count calories and feel okay.
They don't count. Once you walk through the gates, they do not count. Speaking of counting,
stop. Segue
time. Oh boy, a lot of counting going on. BYD just launched a fresh round of EV price cuts in China, triggering a market shakeup that is pummeling stocks and ramping the pressure on companies like, we'll say it, Tesla. BYD slashed prices across several models, including an additional 20% cut on the already sub $10,000 Seagull hatchback. It is now priced as what would be equivalent in the US at $7,780 for a brand new vehicle. The Chinese EV market is actually nearing 50% penetration, which is 5 times the US rate, which is just about 10%, mostly due to these aggressive pricing strategies. EV maker stocks, including BYD, Li Auto, and Geely, fell sharply after this announcement, signaling all kinds of investor anxiety. BYD's growing profit cushion from 2019 to 2024 is giving it room to put all the money into these discounted costs and undercut its less profitable competitors. Here's a quote from Electrek. Here's a quote from the article in Electrek. The new price war will put even more pressure on Tesla as new players line up like Xiaomi. How do you spell that? XIA, or how do you say that?
Xiaomi?
Xiaomi ramp up. So tons of pricing pressure, especially on Tesla being the American player in the Chinese market. But look, they've been flooding the market with these EVs, and now obviously they have inventory and production capacity that I think is just going to further EV adoption in China.
I mean, you remember a few years ago, every second word that came out of our mouth in this industry was disruption.
Yes.
And we were misappropriating the word because we were using it synonymously with interruption. Oh, we're going to be disrupted. But when you look at the actual thesis of disruptive innovation, this is what we're seeing. Disruptive innovation is that there are all these known incumbents who cannot afford to sell their vehicle or their product rather for less than what they're selling it for. A perfect example is, Samsung, Apple. They're not going to sell a $100 smartphone. They're not going to sell something, that's below whatever their kind of standard pricing is. Same thing with Tesla. Like, it would be really interesting to see brand new Teslas breach the, $15,000 market. I don't think that's where they are. But so here you have this incumbent. Disruptive innovation is when a new company comes into that mix, finds a target demographic, is able to bring a product for that target demo that gives them the experience. And now you have disruptive innovation. And I mean, we saw this in India with the cell phone manufacturer that was putting Android smartphones into people's hands for like $4. We're talking a $4 smartphone. That's disruptive innovation because they knew Samsung would never be able to drop from an $800 smartphone. And guess what? This company, I'll have to look up the name, but they've got like 1 billion customers.
Yeah, that's a lot of customers. With this capacity, there's one thing about, obviously all the conversations about the government subsidizing all of the EVs and pushing them into the market because they want to like use this opportunity to kind of own the EV market worldwide. Now the production capacity is what it is. Now that EV adoption is what it is, these cars are going to need to find homes. So pushing into the surrounding countries and other international markets where they will accept these vehicles is just going to be even harder thing to push back against. I mean, at some point things level out, right? When subsidies are happening and you have all this profit because of subsidies and all this manipulation, at some point it washes out. But the question is, does it wash out before the competitors have a chance to answer and respond globally? Like in the US, obviously we can control this with regulations and, and things like that. But globally, a lot more open to, I mean, a $7,800 car. I was thinking about this. Like, it'd be so easy to like, oh, your kid's starting to drive. Great. You know what you're getting? $7,800 car, right?
Right.
I'm not even going to insure it. I'm just gonna get insurance in case somebody gets hurt. Aside from that, it's like that is a fully replaceable vehicle. Like, I mean, if you do a bumper clip and a few sensors, like that sucker's totaled.
I mean, this is also, there's a growing thesis in my mind, which is why the old generation despises the younger generation. And it's because the younger generation has the new advancements, innovations that the older generation never had, right? Like, so you think reel mowers that were hand push, and then we have like self-driving lawn mowers now. I would be upset about that. In the same way, I think about now becoming the older generation where I'm like, wait a minute, I got a beat up Saturn SC2 coupe.
There you go. I was wondering which one you're going.
$7,800, and now some kid gets to roll around in a brand new vehicle with all the tech and all of the EV driving experience for 70. Get off my lawn! I'm mad about it.
A little Clint Eastwood.
I'm angry about it. Hey, speaking of,
go ahead. Speaking of what?
Speaking of leaning into EVs and advancements and innovation,
that was weak.
That was really weak. Guys, I'm not Kyle.
I interrupted your flow of thought, though.
It's okay. It's okay.
But the story will make up for it.
It is with great pleasure that I bring you the next story. In a match made in Southern Haven, BP, Pulse, and Waffle House are joining forces to bring 400 kilowatt ultra-fast EV charging to your next roadside breakfast stop. So starting in 2026, Waffle House locations across Georgia, Texas, Florida, and beyond will host 6 bay charging stations. Wow. All I'm hearing is that Buc-ee's somehow is going to start putting Waffle Houses in their Buc-ee's just so they can keep
same colors already.
Same colors. The chargers will support both CCS and NACS connectors and deliver up to 200 miles of range in about 15 minutes. Pretty impressive. The 24/7 diner vibe adds much needed comfort and reliability to the EV charging experience. And this is going to build on BP Pulse's growing U.S. network, which includes partnerships with Hertz and like 8,000 plus retail locations.
A lot.
The Waffle House Innovation Director, David Rep, said, quote, charging up while fueling up on an all-star special will be convenient and fast, close quote.
Okay. I mean, listen, Waffle House is not the place I expected them to get 400 kilowatt chargers. But I mean, if you're going to have Waffle House where you can get, in and out, it's just these are the kind of restaurants where these chargers make the most sense as opposed to out in the middle of a parking lot in the middle of nowhere. I think, with chargers this fast, and when you're sitting down to eat a meal, in my mind, the biggest concern would be that your car finishes charging and you start, like when you charge your EV, right? You get charged for dwell time. So once you're parked, it would definitely encourage people to move on through the restaurant too. I like the combo. I think things like this are more important to the EV infrastructure. It's a pretty expensive upgrade though. If you're going to have 6 bay, 400 kilowatt charger, you're looking at like 7-figure investments into making that happen. So, well, I'm
like, how much is an all-star breakfast?
Let me give you a confession.
That's a lot.
I've never been in a Waffle House.
I've been once. And
I've eaten Waffle House at the Beaver Toyota golf tournament. They've had the Waffle House like food truck out there, and it was really good.
Did they say how much this investment is going to cost? I mean, we're talking about, you're right, because it's in the millions.
Well, I know a 400 kilowatt charger, right? Not only do you have to like significant infrastructure improvements, but I mean, I don't know what it is now, but like 2 or 3 years ago, one of these chargers was like 3 to 400 grand. So
Yeah, and
maybe they're 250 plus infrastructure. I don't know.
so
How much is an all American? Or what's it called? An
it's
all-star special.
$13.10 and 1,050 calories.
I'm hungry. I could eat that whole thing right now. If
Why
there's
don't
a waffle.
we should incorporate food into this show somehow.
Oh, I'm always a player on that.
So basically, they got to sell 100,000 of these things for it to be.
No. People pay for the electric. You know what? I bet the electric is going to be very expensive from these things.
Yeah, and subsidized somehow.
Always subsidized. Listen, everybody, we hope you have an amazing Tuesday. Whether you're getting back in the swing, you had a day off, or if you're coming off a great sales day, make sure you take care of the people. Get each other some Waffle House, and we will see you here first thing tomorrow morning.